smart. I look smart right now. But anyway, they will kill them all. And my parent, who was growing up during that time, they didn't get to go to school to get education. So both of my parents, they don't know how to read or write. And that led us to a very bad poverty. My father is a fisherman. My mom just a stay-home mom and taking care of the kids. I have four brothers and four sisters. I was born and raised on a boat in a floating village in Cambodia. My dad, whenever he went fishing and get the money, he will spend it on his alcohols. So we never have money left to buy food. So growing up, we will eat anything that we could find that wasn't poisonous. So growing up, I eat fish 3 times a day, and I still love fish. Um, there will be special occasion that we will get something beside the fish. Will be like birds, turtle, snail, rat, monkeys, like anything. And those stuff we know that it's not poisonous just because my mom, who growing up during the genocide, she will eat anything she could find too. Um, so whenever my dad he drunk, he also very abusive. He will beat up my mom, my sibling, and I. To so whenever he told my mom that he has a friend come over, my heart will start beating so fast because I knew that something bad gonna happen at the end of the day. So to escape from my dad, I would swim from my boat to my neighbor boat and then ask her to hide in her kitchen until I cannot hear my dad anymore because when he drunk, he's really loud. That's the only way to escape, but I did not get to do that all the time. Um, One day when I'm about 6 or 7 years old, I got sick. I cannot eat anything. I cannot keep anything down. Everything I eat, it always come back up. And my mom started to worry about me. She afraid that I'm gonna die. So she asked my dad to bring me to the hospital. But the floating village where I was growing up, there's no electricity, there's no hospital, there's no school, and it's about 2 or 3 hours just on the boat straight to the land before you head to the hospital. So my dad told my mom to just let me die. If I lucky enough, I will survive, and if not, they're still young, they can help more kids. And for me, when I heard my dad said that, I was wondering if I am his daughter and if he loved me at all. But there's a strange thing at that time told me that I wanted to be a nurse when I grow up, so that way I can help those that sick and have nobody with them. I will be there and care for them. But it seemed very impossible because both of my parents they don't know how to read and write. There's no school in my village. None of my aunt and uncle finished high school. But somehow I just want to be a nurse. And growing up, I also never I'm too scared to tell my dad what I want, how I feel, because I'm so afraid of him. Somehow, a few days later, I feel better, and that when I have the courage to go to my dad, told him that I want to go to school because I want to be a nurse. But my dad told me that I don't need education to live my life because my mom and him, they both uneducated. They can give me life, so I don't need education to live my life. But because of the idea that I want to be a nurse, I keep asking him. A couple years later, I asked him again, and he said, if I want to go to school, I have to leave the family. At that time, I'm about 8 years old. So I decided to leave my parents and move in with my aunt, who is about 6 hours away. Living with my aunt, she let me to go to school, but I had to work for her. So I had to get up around 2 or 4 o'clock in the morning, help her make the cookie, because she sell cookie at the elementary school. So I help her make the cookie, and then during my school break, I will run to her little shop and help her sell the cookie, and then run back to my class whenever school start again. And after school, whatever she didn't sell at the school, I had to carry it around the village and try to sell them. There will be time that I can't sell all the cookies. She won't let me eat because she think I'm being lazy. I'm not trying to sell all the cookie. So many nights that I live with my aunt, I have to cry myself to sleep and with an empty stomach. And that when it's make me miss my parents because back home, no matter what happened, no matter we're in the middle of running away from my dad for our life, my mom will make sure that we have food in my tummy. So that make me miss my mom so much. So after 2 years living with my aunt, I decided to give up on my education and move back to my mom and dad. So when I moved back, the abusing is still happening. Every time, all the time. And one day, actually it's during this time, it's right now. During this time, it's a Cambodian holiday going on right now. It's like a 15-day long holiday. It's like a Buddhism holiday that the family will cook food, bring it to the pagoda, and let the monk bless it. They think that that will bring those food to their loved one that died a long time ago. And so it's like 15-day long. So my dad think that it's holiday, so he party every day. He drunk every day to the point that we don't have any food to eat anymore. We don't have any fish to eat. We don't have anything to eat. So my mom decided to let me and my older sister to take turn to go fishing with my uncle, and then when he come home we can split the fish so we can have food to eat. Then when it's my turn to go with my uncle to go fishing, I was abused by him. So when I come home, I was crying, my mom wondering, well, what happened? And I was too scared to tell my mom at first because my uncle told me if I told my mom about what happened, he gonna tie me down on the tree under the water and no one will find me. But because my mom kept asking, I told her, and that day we find out that my sister also been abused by my uncle for so many times, and she didn't tell anyone just because the same reason that he told me. And my step aunt, who is a year old younger than me, she also been abusing by my uncle. And when my mom found out about what happened, she was so upset and she was so mad. So she went and told the police about what happened. Unfortunately, it was still Cambodian holiday. So the police told her that they're not gonna work on that case until the holiday is over. So when my mom come back home, my dad fighting with her because he was mad that my mom went and told the police about what happened. And he went and told my uncle to escape. Whenever my dad come home, he was fighting with my mom. I was laying there. Um, it was a small boat, so I can hear all the conversation. That's when I really thinking that my dad didn't love me at all. Maybe I'm not his daughter at all because me was hurting by my uncle and also my sister and also his stepsister was hurting by my uncle. I was expected him to say something, at least say that what my uncle did was wrong. He didn't say anything like that, or he maybe, punch him for me or something like that. But he didn't do that. Instead, he helped him to escape. So that's when I realized that he didn't love me at all. And a few days later, the police show up. My uncle's gone. They cannot find him. So for my safety, they had to move me out of the village to go to a place called Rafa International. It's a safe house for girls that been abused or been trafficked. They will go live there. And over there, it's a Christian-based organization. So they have a church over there, and they have the counselor. Once a week, I will have my counselor after school. I will have a counselor that will come and talk to me about what I've been through. And every time after she talked to me, she always told me about Jesus. She told me about how he died on the cross, how he want me to forgive my uncle and my dad and to love them. But for me, it doesn't make any sense because Cambodian country, 94% of them, they are non-Christian. And I was raised non-Christian. And then when my counselor told me about God, it doesn't make any sense for me because my uncle and my dad, they're supposed to love me first. They didn't love me. Why is my job to love them? So anyway, I love to go to church every Sunday just because I love my children group and I love that we get snack after Sunday school. So so I love that, and we get to go up on the stage singing. Then One day, my Sunday school teacher, said that they're going to have a Bible school for a couple of days, and then they will have a gift for us. So at that time, when I heard the word gift, I was so happy because growing up, we never celebrate birthday, we never celebrate Christmas. So when I heard the word gift, I wondered what it is, and I want it so bad. So I joined the Bible school, and the end of the day of the Bible school, you know how teachers are so smart? That's why they teach, you know? So she used that gift because there's a different age group in that Bible school study. There was like from like 16 down to like an 8 years old and 7 years old kid. So my group, of course, I'd be able to sit with the group of my age and then mix with just a couple little kids. So the end of the day came, they bring in a big brown box. And inside that big brown box, there's a red and green box in there. And at that time, it was a cardboard box. It's not the plastic one. And of course, it's not a see-through thing. And I'm dying to see what's inside. My teacher told me that this is the gift from the people that love God, and they want to bless us with this gift. And the other thing she told me that whoever get the gift first, do not open it. They're gonna do a countdown, 1, 2, 3, and they all open it together. And she said whoever lines straight first and quiet will get the gift first. And of course, I'm so like 13, 14 years old. I'd be able to be the boss and tell all those little kids to, stay silent. And they did. So we got the gift first, and my teacher was busy passing another gift, and I look at my friends like, I'm gonna open this box. I know she told me to wait, but I'm gonna open that up, and I did. I opened the box, and my friend did too because they listened to me. Anyway, I opened the box. So the first thing I saw in my box, there was a new pair of flip-flops. You know how special these are to me? Because growing up on the boat, we never wear shoe. And living in Rafah International, we only get to buy shoe once a year. That year, I feel so special because I got an extra pair of new shoe. And also, all my friends that sit by me, they didn't get flip-flops. So I feel extra special. So you know how competitive I am, right? And then there's another thing. Growing up, I never watched TV. I never had any toys. I never knew that they can make something like that. It's the stuffed animal. The stuffed animal is so special because I never seen one growing up. And I eat all kind of animal. I never knew they can make the animal so nice and they smell so good that I can hunt them instead of the real one. And I will share with you how I lost my stuffed animal at the end of my story. It's gone, but I will tell you why it's gone. And then there's so many things in my box because back then I think you can send so many things girly, and I got a bunch of those stuff. And then there's one more thing in my box that I don't know what to do with it. Until one day there's a missionary guy came in and he told me, he showed me what to do with it. It was this guy right here. Yeah. And I'm still not good at it, you can tell. Um, anyway, so while I'm going through all those boxes, there's a question that come to my mind. There's a question like, who sent me this gift and why they do it? And then it brings me back to my teacher said that it's the gift from the people that love God and they want to bless us with this gift. And that's when I start to think back to what my counselor always told me. And that's when I know that God is real and He is big. He can make impossible things happen. He can make someone that don't even know who I am to love me and send me this gift while my own dad and uncle cannot love me. And the shoebox, the shoebox is not just a simple box that full of goodies, but it's come with a true love and hope and healing. In Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plan I have for you, declare the Lord, plan to prosper you and not to harm you, plan to give you hope and a future. This is my favorite verse. I went through so much, but at the end, God gave me hope and future. Right now, I am a wife, I am a mom, and I'm also a nurse. So I just want to tell you thank you so much for packing those shoebox. You guys, there's so much stuff up there that make my heart so happy. And so this shoebox will bring so much joy and love to those children that receive the box. And you have no idea how much that shoebox gonna touch those children life. That's just like it did to me. All my gifts I use and it gone, it broken, but God's love that come with this shoebox will stay with me forever. Not just now, but forever, the rest of my life. So thank you so much. Thank you. You want me to share and put my stuff on them?
So, are you going to tell us what happened to your little stuffed animal?
Yes. So when I live in Rafa for 6, 7 years, I think I haven't seen my mom. So the next time my mom show up, she brought two little boys with her. There's a 3 years old and then there's a 1 year old. She brought with her and I said, who are they? She said, that's your brothers. So those are my two brothers. And they love my stuffed animal. So I gave it to them. And then the next time when my mom came back, I got in trouble because there's only one stuffed animal. There's two of them. They fight every day over that stuffed animal. And then one day, my mom said that they drop it into the water, so it's wet and it floated. They both crying because they thought that the stuffed animal died. And then my mom picked it up. She squeezed the water out and let it dry, so it become soft again. So they both jumping, think that it come back to life. I thought that was cute, but they tear the stuffed animal down. That's how I lost my stuffed animal. So yeah.
All right. If you have a question, just raise your hand and shout it out. Anything you'd like to know more about her life?
Do you have any contact with your family now in later years?
Yes, so in fact, right now, my mom's living with us. Today, she's watching my baby. She's not here, but she's at home watching my baby. She moved here 4 months ago. My dad still overseas, and the rest of my siblings still over there. We're working on a visa right now to apply for my sibling to come because if I apply for my sibling to come, it will take around 8 to 10 or 15 years for them to come. But if I apply for my mom, it take me 2 years to apply for my mom. If my mom come here and she's applied for them, it will take her another 2 years. So it's only 4 year totals. But they must be under 21. If they older than 21, it will take about 8 to 10 years too. So we in that process right now, and I'm so thankful for that.
All right, someone else.
Monkey recipe?
Yes, you probably have recipes for things that we don't plan on eating. Okay?
That's a good question. By airplane. I did not swim here, and I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. So it's a long story, but when I live in Rafa, I really like math. So my teacher decided to train me into accounting, and that's what I was doing after school, doing the accounting work. And then Rafa has another program called Kids Club in Phnom Penh, the capital city of Cambodia. They help the children. They just pay for the children's school. They don't stay with us. They stay with their family, but we pay for the school so they can go to school. So they transfer me over there to do the accounting. And my husband, David, this guy, he has a nonprofit in Thailand and helping the children home in Thailand. So he go to Thailand and come back to United States and stay over Thailand. Then when he stay in Thailand, he has to renew his visa. And Thailand rule, if to renew the visa, you have to leave the country and re-enter. And at that time, he has an aunt who is a nurse practitioner that live in Missouri. She go to Cambodia once a year through Rafah with the medical team to treat the people over there every year. And at that time, he decided to just leave Cambodia, leave Thailand and go to Cambodia to visit his aunt. And I was his aunt translator, and that's how we met. Then he applied for the visa for me to come here. It took him a while to get me. I played it cool for a little bit. But I end up here. So yeah, that's how we get here.
So it sounds like God went to a whole lot of work to get the two of you together. All right. Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to share the gospel with your mother or any other family members?
Yes, I did. Thank you for that question. So right now, my mom, she's so whenever I was here, she's been moving to live in Malaysia for a little bit. So she converting from Buddhism to Muslim, and then she moved back to Cambodia. And then one of my sisters, I have, I have, let's see, sorry, I have a lot of them, so I had to count. One and three. So I have five of my siblings right now that are Christian. So one of my sisters sharing the gospel with my mom, and she decided to become Christian, but she's still in between. She's not like completely Christian yet, but she's still working on that. And yes, I did, I did get to have another five of my siblings that are really, really good Christian. Just like that, if you pack one box, you give it to one kid, you not just touch that one kid's life, you touch five or six more of the people that are around them. Sometimes you can change their parents' life and also their sibling life too. Yes, I have five of my siblings now that are Christian, and we're working on get more of them to become a Christian. Yes.
Your English is very good. Did you start learning English in the little place you're at when you go there?
Yes, I start learning English in Rafa, and the reason why I learn English because of candy. Um, So once a year, we have a volunteer, missionary volunteer, go to Rafa. They will teach English in the summer. The teacher, during the summer, they don't teach here, so they go to Cambodia and teach English in Rafa. And then they brought those, they call the sake, right? The one that has chocolate inside, sometimes have gum inside. Yes, and they're so smart. They said from Monday to Friday, if we being good and we copy all our lesson in the book, and then we'll get a little stamp at the end of the day. And on Friday, if we get all five stamp, we got a sucker. And I did it just for that, just for the candy. But I ended up speaking English just because of the candy. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Someone else.
So,
Yes.
about how big was the boat that you grew up on? Like as big as the stage, or?
Well, it's it's not this big. It's probably from this side right here to where I stand. That's how wide it is. And how long it is probably from the piano to where we stand right now. So when we sleep at night, we all just sleep like this, all of us all in one area with my parents and all my siblings. And the kitchen usually on the back. We just have a wood burning stove, and then we just sit on where we sleep to eat our dinner and stuff like that. So there's not much place, there's not much thing to do on the boat. I usually climb up the tree and jump into the water for fun. Sometimes I get in trouble because my parents try to sleep. When I jump, it make a wave and wake them up. But that's what I did for fun.
All right. Another question.
How far away from the shore was that? Was your boat, your house, your boat then? How far from
It
land?
depends on the season of the year. Sometime there will be when the water really, really, really low, we will move to live on the land. But when the water really high, there's no land for us. Um, Whenever we move to live on the land, we just build like a shed with just some wood with plastic roof. And when the wind blow, those roof will fly too. But that's just a short period of time. And then most of the time we live on the boat. But to go to like a land, to like where the hospital and where school is, it will be a 2 hours straight on the boat for hour, like with nothing, but just on the water only, straight to the shore. Yes.
Another question.
How does Cambodia compare today,
The United States.
to the time you were a child to
How
Cambodia
has
today?
Cambodia changed?
It's better now, but the government's still the same because the same guy still running it. He been the government for almost 35, 36 years, and now he gave it to his son. The corruption is still the same, but um, I think those are poor still poor, pretty much. Yeah, because my parents still poor, so.
I think
$204 a month for a garment worker, okay, per month. All right?
When you were growing up, what kind of things did you do for fun?
Just swim, climb on the tree, try to. So we will have a little boat that we can paddle around. Um, the rat that we eat are those rat that part of our fun too. They build the little house with the leaf, so it's just like a bird nest, but it made from big leaf around it, and the rat usually stay in there. And we have the metal thing that's so sharp into two like this with a handle, and we usually go and poke all those house around. Sometimes we get a rat with it, sometimes we don't. But when we get one, we eat it. That's what we do for fun most of the time. There's no TV. We don't have TV. We don't have any toys. Just that's what pretty much what we do for fun. Go out, find food.
So I assume that your eating habits have changed since you've moved to the United States.
Yes. There's no rat and monkey here, but I still eat turtle.
Turtles?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
In fact, I got one this year. We're hoping more next year.
So how often have you been able to return to Cambodia?
I moved here 2016, January 2016, and then I went back in May 2019, and we hoping to go back in January, the end of January next year, or the beginning of February next year. Yes.
So what do you do? Are you involved with Operation Christmas Child other than speaking? Is your church, are you involved in packing shoeboxes?
Yes. Yes. Our church is packing shoebox too. In fact, let me tell you how I get into speaking for shoebox. So, by the way, before I moved to America, whenever I live in Rafa, I get to watch TV. And what show on the TV was Las Vegas and all those fancy thing about America. And I always thought that all America looked like New York City. And flying from Cambodia to Dallas at night, all those fancy light, I was hoping that I'm in New York City. I don't know, New York City and Dallas different. I have no idea. Well, I got in at night, 11 o'clock at night, and then early in the morning we had to drive from Dallas to Oklahoma. And then around, I think it's in January, so of course outside there's no leaf or nothing, just tree. And when the suns come up, I look outside the window, I see cow eating grass. And I look at my husband, I was like, where's the big building? And he looked at me and said, I thought I'm in New York City. He said, no, babe, you're on your way to Oklahoma. And and then I said, are those cows gonna die? And he said, no, because God made cows special here for America. And and then I was hoping to see those fancy big building, and then I end up in Oklahoma, a little town called Blackwell, that's close to I-35. Only have one Walmart. I don't even have grocery in there, and that is how close it gets to New York City from where I thought. And also the other thing, whenever I got my shoebox, I thought that I thought that all American are rich because they can fly to Cambodia and they can come back and they pack the gift and send it to me. Then when we moved to Blackwell for my husband's job, we went to a church, and it's during this time when they start packing shoebox and stuff. When I walk in, they have those boxes stacked up, and I told my husband, I think I got one of those boxes when I was young. And then he told the lady at the church, and she got excited. And long story short, I become a spokesperson for Operation Christmas Child shoebox, and here I am. So then I realized that the shoebox was packing by the people that love God and that go to church just like you guys. They're not rich. So yeah, now I really like that.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yes.
Do you live in Blackwell now?
Yes, sir.
Where did you hunt the turtle?
No, but my coworker that I work with at the hospital, her boyfriend went fishing. She got one. I told her I eat turtle, so she called me and then she brought it to work and gave it to me. So when I first moved here, my husband probably better tell that story, but After we got married, it was in spring. We was driving back to our house, and there's a turtle crossing the road. What kind of turtle was that? Box turtle. And I was so excited. I asked him to stop the car, and then he stopped. I went in there. I picked up the turtle, not to save it, but to bring it in, to bring it home with me, not for the pet to eat it. Anyway, I put it down, and then it kept crawling in our car, and then it started getting stinkier and stinkier. And I said, "This turtle stink." And then my husband said, "I don't think we eat those, babe." And then because it's getting so stinky, I decided to throw it back out. So the stinkiness saves life.
All right.
Yes. So I have a baby girl. Her name is Neri. She's 13 months old, and she's at home. I have my older sister, my other brother, and my dad now live in Malaysia. They fishing over there. There's no more fish in Cambodia, I think. And then I'm the second oldest, so let's see, I have two sisters and three brothers that live in Cambodia right now. And in 2019, I lost one of my sisters. She's 22 back then. She has diabetes, and she moved from Cambodia to Malaysia, and she ran out of her insulin. Is that how she passed? But I'm so glad that 2019 I get to spend a couple of weeks with her. Growing up, I never get to grow up with any of my sister at all. We all over the place. We all by ourselves. But that 1 week that we went back to Cambodia and spent time with her, I get to do her hair and put makeup on her. And then after I come back, 2019 in June, I come back. I saw her in June, and she passed away in August. But I was so thankful for that time that I get to spend time with her. Yes.
Okay. One more.
No, he still his same way. He still drink, and in fact he's now start to cheating on my mom too. Um, it's just hard. And my mom, just because she been abused so much, and she think that is her normal. One of my hope that bring her here to see how we live our life here, hoping that she will realize that the way she live her life and the way my dad treated her, it was not the right way. So far it doesn't seem to help, but hopefully, because we were planning to have her with us for a couple of years, hopefully over time she probably can realize that. But it will be all on God, how he's gonna open her heart and open her eye about that. But my dad, he's still in his same way. He will never change unless God do his miracle.
So is your mom here permanently, or is?
Just for a couple of years.
Okay. And how long has she already been here?
She moved here April this year.
April of this year. Okay. So that's why you have a babysitter
Yeah.
this morning. How old is your little girl?
13-month old.
13
She,
months.
yeah, she loved to walk, so that's why she hate car seat.
Car seats. They probably didn't have car seats in Cambodia.
Nope.
All right. One more question. Yeah.
Do you remember receiving the gospel booklet with your shoebox?
I think back then they don't have that program yet. But I do has the they do the there's a little booklet that called the Greatest Journey. It's just a little book, but now they have more than that. Yes, the Greatest Gift. Yes, they have more than that now. They have the program that they encourage the children to come back and join the program, and then when they graduate, they receive the Bible in their own language. That was just for them.
Yes, for those who may not be as familiar with Operation Christmas Child, when a child receives a shoebox gift, they hear the gospel verbally. It's explained to them, and they receive a little. We would call it a tract. It's a written in the language of the people that they're reaching out to, and the greatest gift. That's the explanation of the gospel and Jesus Christ and what he came to do for us. And that has been translated into 98 languages so far. So the Operation Christmas Child has evolved in a positive way over the years. So eventually they said, not only do we want to share the gospel with children, but we want to disciple them. So they created this program called The Greatest Journey. That's a 12-week program where the children can sign up to be a part of this discipleship program. And over those 12 weeks, they hear the gospel again, because some of the children who sign up to be a part of this discipleship program haven't actually invited Jesus Christ into their lives. So they hear the gospel again, and then in this discipleship program, they also hear about how they can grow in their relationship with Jesus Christ, and then they also hear about how they can share their relationship with Jesus Christ with other people. And so when they graduate, if the Bible has been translated into that language, those who graduate receive a Bible of their own. And so this is a wonderful way not only for evangelism and discipleship to take place, but for these children to continue to grow, and they can have an influence on their family. And a lot of times, as Boun just said, the children will come home and show their shoebox, and then they'll start telling the story of what they heard about someone loves them, and there's a person called Jesus. And so as they're sharing that, there are many, many people who don't ever get a shoebox, but they get to hear the gospel. And so parents and other siblings and other people actually come to know Jesus Christ because of one shoebox. Let me tell one quick story, and then we'll be done. There was one girl who received a shoebox, and she invited Jesus Christ into her life. She came home and shared it with her parents. They weren't too excited about it, and she thought to herself, I have no idea what I should do now. My parents aren't really interested. So she decided to go in the village and just start sharing the gospel with people, and she did. And people started coming to know Jesus Christ as their personal Savior through this little girl. So many people prayed to receive Christ that they eventually planted a church in that little village simply because one girl got a shoebox and decided to take it to the rest of the people in the village where she lived. So God has a wonderful way of spreading the gospel in amazing ways. We could tell stories for the next couple of hours about how God works in amazing ways. But every shoebox that you pack results in a child hearing the gospel, and God is taking the good news to the ends of the earth, and we're glad that you're a part of that. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Boun is going to share just briefly in your worship service is coming up in a few minutes, and then we have to leave. We're going to another church where she's going to speak again briefly. So thank you very much for your attentiveness, and we're glad that you could hear how God has worked in a miraculous way over the years. Let's give her a hand.
You are a delight. Yeah. You have told an incredible story this morning, your story, and to hear that, and I know there are people all over the world that could have similar stories, different levels, and I'm sitting back there just thinking, how blessed we are. And people can have a lot of reasons to be bitter and even be mad at God, even if you hear about God. And yet, through all you've been through, God was just working an amazing thing to know ahead of time how you would be impacted and then how you would impact so many others. I just can't believe how people's lives aren't being touched, even here in America, when you go to different churches and places to share your story. There's no way it's not happening. So I also understand here in Inman, Kansas, the power of candy. so pre-Halloween. but here's the deal. This is chocolate.
Okay.
I'm giving you this one because this is one of my favorites. So I'm giving that to you. But this one, this sucker, it's a mystery flavor. So I don't know what kind you're getting. But I grabbed that intentionally just a minute ago, because what God is doing sometimes is a mystery. But what's inside when he reveals that is really good. And there's all kinds of different flavors. We're all different. What's that? It's not turtle. Yeah, probably not turtle. But we do have some people that, if you need more turtles, we probably could make that happen. So that's a mystery. And I do want you to eat it or give it to your child. But
No, I will eat
you
it.
will
I
eat
will
it?
let you know what flavor it is.
Okay. But I do want it to represent just the mysterious and wonderful and amazing way that God works in our lives. And thank you for blessing us. David, would you mind coming up? I just want to pray for both of you and end our time right now. We'll take a short break and then have our service. Do you mind if I put my hands on you? All right. God, we give you thanks this morning for your amazing love and the wonderful blessings that we receive many times so undeserved. But God, thank you for Boun's story and that she didn't give up, that she knew there was more for her. She just didn't know how that could happen. So many challenges in her life. I thank you for David for coming into her life, and I do believe that you had a plan for the two of them that made a difference in her life as well. And I know it's changed his life. So God, I ask that you continue to bless them as they share their story, continue to touch people's lives so that more and more people, it's needed here in America. People need to hear about Jesus and your wonderful, amazing grace. And God, we continue to pray for her family, and we're praying for her dad. I know what she means. It seems impossible that he will never change. But you still do miracles. And so we're going to join them in prayer that someone in his life, it might be a stranger, maybe somebody gives him a surprise box of something, but something would reach him and that he would turn to you, Lord. Also encourage her mom and let her continue to learn more about Jesus so that there is no doubt and she completely surrenders to you, Lord. Bless them this day, the church they're headed to later, and just continue to let them experience your wonderful, joyful hope and love that only you can provide. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Short break and then join back here in a few minutes.